What's going on, Papa fam? It's your boy Papa React, back with day 2, back with the energy. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Every single day we're gonna have fun for the next 5 days, guys. You guys have been smashing it. The energy is up there. This is Papa fam levels we're talking about. Welcome to day 2 of the 5-day NFT drop React.js challenge. Let me know where you're watching from right now. I can see we literally have over 100 people watching on YouTube right now. We have over 2,500 signups from yesterday, and we just hit 3,000 this morning. That is incredible. That's the biggest we've ever had on the challenge. Let's go, guys. What's up? Smash the thumbs up button if you're excited for this. We're about to jump into day 2 of the NFT 5-day challenge. Say what's up. Let me know where you're watching from. India, France, Algeria, South Africa, Kenya, Uzbekistan, UK, Nepal, America, that's under Senegal, France, Lithuania. It gets me hyped. It gets me so hyped. Nigeria, Algeria, Nepal, what's up? Romania, hey, Australia, I'm trying to pick out all the different ones. Sweden, Texas, Haiti, UK, this is sick. Somalia, Serbia. Oh guys, this is international. I hope you're enjoying the challenge so far. Without further ado, I'm gonna jump into day 2, show you what we're gonna be doing. Today we're gonna be starting our app. We're gonna be building the Metamask login authentication portion, and we're gonna be going ahead and designing the front end. So you're gonna get an introduction to Next.js. It's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. And we're gonna go over a couple of winners in terms of bonus points. So get ready, buckle up, get your coffees ready. We're jumping into day 2 of the challenge. Let me know if you're ready right now by smashing the thumbs up button and making some noise in the chat. You guys are absolutely, your energy is insane. It keeps me going all the time. Colin Dale just said, I woke up at 3:30 a.m. to get ready for this event from WA. Is that Washington? Let me know, but that is sick, dude. Jamie Davis, yo, Sonny, just dropping in for the start. Say thanks for what you provide. Papa Fam Platinum member, that's go, dude. I remember you. And it was 100% the force behind me getting my job as a full stack developer. Jay, screenshot Jamie Davis right now. That is awesome. You guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you for being a part of the Papa Fam. If you haven't already reserved your spot, do it now, because we need that in order to judge if you're in the competition or not, right? I would say challenge. It's not competition. We're trying to help each other grow, right? Go to papareact.com/NFT challenge. Link is in the description. Sign up, reserve your spot. Over 3,000 people have done this already, so we know it works, okay? Join the Discord server. It's going to help if you get stuck at any point. It's going to make sure you go ahead and you can get assistance if you get, if you get stuck, whatever. It's really awesome over there. Over 8,000 members. The energy is fresh as ever. The Facebook groups where you need to be in order to get us to calculate your points. It's where you can help others with homework. It's where you're going to find all of your homework links. And as always, if you're watching this right now, I've seen so many of you do this and I really love it, right? Pick up your phones right now. Go ahead and literally snap me on Instagram. Tag me at SSSSanga on the bottom left-hand screen right now and tag #Papa Challenge. And that's going to go ahead and come up on my feed and I'll give you guys some bonus points, right? It's always awesome. My main reason for that is because I can see the people behind this amazing community. All right, remember, sign up for the grand finale. This is where I'm going to give away free books, free cryptocurrency, all this good stuff, right? And you're going to get a training. Get the JavaScript ebook worth £100. Get the Next.js ebook worth £100. Get that cryptocurrency for free from our sponsors, Clouch. And we're going to give you the ultimate training on that final day. So the link is in the description to sign up for the final day event. Let me know right now in the comments if you've done that already. Right, that's an important step. Do not forget that. So today we're going to be learning all of this good stuff. I love this song. This is a jam. All right, we're learning all of this today. We've got React, we've got Next.js, we've got Tailwind, and we're going to learn about Metamask and thirdweb. We're going to be using thirdweb to handle the authentication portion. It's actually going to allow us to tap into the React SDK that they offer and actually very simply be able to log in and get access to the user's address. Then we can conditionally render what we see on the screen. So if none of that made sense, don't stress, we got this. That's it, I love to see it. Everyone's got their homework. So Harry says, I slept 2 hours, but I got the homework submitted. That's what I'm talking about. Louise says, I'd love to share, but I'm supposed to be working. Oh, he's risking it all for the challenge. Let's see a demo of today's build and what you're gonna be building, okay? So this is what we're actually going to build today, right? We're going to build the front end. So I'm going to use static images today, and tomorrow we're going to connect it to Sanity, but we're going to go ahead and have the sign in functionality. All right. So you're going to click sign in. It's going to pop up with the ability to sign in with Metamask. We're going to click next, click connect, and then it's going to allow us to go ahead and change the UI. This stuff right here is going to be done in day 3, but over here, we're going to get all of this UI done today. I'm actually going to have it super nice and responsive, right? So it's going to look beautiful. Everything's going to work in the way that it needs to work, right? So this is going to be awesome. Let me just double check something. Right, let me see. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. Okay, cool. Right, so let's carry on going, guys. Strong as ever. Right, let me go back. Got a weird message. We're gonna ignore that. It's working. But wait, what is thirdweb, right? So what is the tech behind all of this stuff that allows us to tap into the world of Web 3? Right, Jay, give me a little status update if we're pretty good on the stream. Right, so what is thirdweb? Thirdweb allows us to build awesome Web3 apps. It allows us to build NFT collections, drops, marketplaces, tokens, all that amazing stuff, right? You can actually go ahead and even do voting contracts, royalty splits, all that other stuff. And they have SDKs for everything and all the popular languages, okay? Now, there's a few important things to know about thirdweb in case you feel nervous about using them, right? Firstly, whenever you mint an NFT on OpenSea or on other platforms, you actually risk the chance of the platform going down and then you lose access to that smart contract. The good thing about thirdweb is when you go ahead and actually use them to deploy a smart contract, you get 100% full ownership of that smart contract that you deployed. This is really important. They call it creator provenance. It's basically owning what you put out there, right? So this is what the Web3 movement is about. So ownership is a priority to them. So this is good for all of us, right? Now, something I want to stress, really important, right? I get all the question all the time. Sonny, what about Solidity? Can't I write my own smart contract, do this stuff myself? Well, you can, but in doing it with thirdweb, it's 10 times cheaper than writing your own contract in Solidity. So if anyone here wants to deploy this stuff to Ethereum mainnet, which is one of the big goals when you're launching a massive NFT project, then do it with thirdweb because it's 10 times cheaper to do it than writing your own contract in Solidity, and plus it's way less work. So just go ahead and do that, right? So thirdweb is a winner in my eyes, right? Remember, join them now. You're going to need this throughout the challenge, and use the link in the description so that way we can actually see who's signing up and who's not signing up, right? It allows us to calculate the points. Now, as I said before, if you want to learn more about Web 3.0, NFTs, everything else, including full stack development, Web 2 world, all of that good stuff, on day 5, we're going to be opening the doors to our exclusive Zero to Full Stack Hero community. So stay tuned for day 5. It's going to be absolutely massive. I've got a grand reveal for the course, which is, we've never done this before, and it's something which I'm super excited to reveal to even our members inside. But before we start, guys, a quick word from our challenge sponsors, Clouch. So Clouch is an amazing platform. Yesterday I mentioned them. They have actually introduced a new shops feature. So yesterday, as part of the challenge, Clouch is basically, if you don't know what Clouch is, it's a decentralized social media platform. I'm going to throw that out there first, right? So you can log in, you have your own feed, you can go ahead and engage with the Web3 community, and you can create shops now where you can make a passive income. Now, you guys absolutely killed it. And I'm going to go ahead and show all the shops right now over at Clouch. You guys can see over here, check this out. It's booming right now with shops that you all created. This is awesome. It's amazing to see the movement that we can have as a community, right? So if you have any services, whether it's coding, design, Web3, anything, and you want to hit 200,000 Web3 users, go ahead, sign up to Clouch. The link is in the homework description, and it's in the description down below. So make sure you do it. You're going to get 10 bonus points. So I've already started calculating. Trust me, it's so much work, but we've already started calculating all this stuff. So open your own shop if you haven't already, okay? Now, remember, if you sign up to Clouch, you're getting 10 times the free cryptocurrency that they previously offered. So you're literally getting free money to sign up to them, and registering a shop gets you bonus points, which means you can win this challenge if you get enough points, right? So awesome, awesome stuff. They don't sell your data. You have complete control, so do not stress about anything. So as I said, hit the link in the description, links.papareact.com/couch to go ahead and get started today. Ben Carter, what's up? Welcome to the Papa Fam special tier. Ben is an awesome student inside of Zero to Full Stack Hero. Good to see you here, bro. Amazing stuff. So who's ready to code the front end with me today? Right? Tell me, make some noise, right? This is crazy, right? We have so many people in today's video across Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, all these different platforms. It's time to focus. right? So let's go over some quick reminders before we get into the coding. This is what we're going to be building today, right? So remember, it's a Next.js app. It's going to be responsive. It's going to have Metamask login. We're going to be using thirdweb to power it. Today's agenda. First, we're going to review the best homework submissions, and we're going to reward bonus points to those who got selected, right? So don't stress if you're not selected. Amazing job. We do check, honestly, we get a big team. We check all this stuff out. So make sure you do. Luis Perez, what's up? Welcome to the Papa Fam Special Tier as well. That is awesome to see you in here, man. I can now see you guys glowing up. If you become a Papa Fam Special Tier member, you literally get highlights. I can see all your messages, right? So, and we're going to set up the MetaMask authentication using thirdweb. And we're going to design the complete front end. So it's going to be a lot of fun today. Tomorrow, a quick reminder, we're going to be building the backend for this challenge using Sanity.io. They're actually awesome. As I mentioned before, they provide a non-developer experience, really friendly. It's made for teams. The whole point of Sanity is that once we connect it to our app, literally the people who aren't the developers can come in, change the content as a team. They can go in there, collaborate, make changes to the front, you know, the titles of different collections and so forth, and then they can just publish the changes. They don't have to go to the developer and say, hey, do you mind changing this page? They don't have to do any of that. So that's a huge bonus when using a CMS like Sanity, right? So they're actually the world's best CMS platform. Trust me, they're amazing. And remember, if you use the, I love Jay's gifts, honestly. If you use our special link down below, sanity.io/sunny, you're going to get double the free quota. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check it out, okay? So this is very important for tomorrow. I mention it now because it's something you're going to need to have for tomorrow, okay? The points, this is a challenge, right? We have over £12,000 worth of prizes. You must join the Facebook group so I can allocate those points. 1 point for sending messages on social media, 2 for tagging me, 3 for helping someone with their homework. You guys have actually been doing an amazing job with that, so well done, everyone. 4 points for referring someone to this challenge or Clouch, 5 for every homework submission, and 10 if you open up a shop with Clouch, right? Or if you get mentioned in the homework, right? Which I'm about to go over right now. Right. And as I mentioned before, if you register with Sanity and thirdweb in day 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, then I'm going to give you some extra points, right? So prizes you can bag. First place gets diamond mentorship experience. Third place, 3 platinum. And third place is 10 winners of a 50% off coupon. So I'm going to go over some of your homework, right? Let's get into the juicy stuff right now. On Facebook, you can see in the guide section where you can submit all your homework. But we're going to go ahead and actually go over this right now. So we received over 750 homework submissions. That is ridiculous. I've never seen so many people in a challenge, right? It's crazy because even after this video goes up on YouTube, people are engaging. They're literally fighting to push this homework in. It's nuts. There's 7,000 or 8,000 people in Discord. It's absolutely crazy what people are actually doing right now to try and win this challenge. So thank you all for your incredible energy, right? There are some crazy portfolios. We're going to go ahead and shout you out right now. Check out some of these submissions, guys. We got Brandon Hancock, absolutely smashed it. I love the backdrop here. We got Luca Battarello. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but I love the clean minimalism right here. These are both very clean backgrounds. I probably would go ahead with this, but it's really, really nice, right? So we've got Antoine, we've got Aizu, absolutely sick designs. We've got Ravi, we've got Alexandru, we've got Louise, we've got Botan. So you guys are all getting 10 bonus points, okay? And these are the ones that I want to quickly give a highlight to, right? So Ken Shen, right? Check this out, guys. Ken did a pretty damn nice portfolio, right? Look at this. This is so clean, right? I literally have a very good friend in UI UX, and if I showed him this, he would be like, damn, this is nice, right? This is so, and what I love is you just have a picture here, right? So I zoomed in, oops. You have a picture, which just shows you're a human being, right? A lot of people just don't have a picture of themselves or with other people. This makes such a difference, right? It shows that you're actually a human being. It's awesome. I really, really am a fan of this one. I think you absolutely smashed it. What's up? You got a massive shout out. Hope you don't mind being on on a live stream, but yeah, absolutely incredible stuff. Next up, we have what is it? Tomi Lola. Check this out. Awesome stuff. Right? I just love the background. I love this like animated background. It's so sick, right? So he's gone ahead and he's used the template. He's taken it an extra level forward, and he's gone ahead and actually done some of the builds. So absolutely wicked stuff. dude, I'm going to go ahead and show Alexander, Chetan, and the final one by Tyler Tony. So I'm going to open these up in order, right? So firstly, we've got this one. This one is one of my favorites, right? This is literally like a VS Code portal, yeah? And look how clean that is, guys. That is so nice. As a coder, this is sick. This is awesome, right? Look at that. I just love the animations. It's not boring at all. You can actually go ahead and click see the project and it will go ahead and take you to a different page. Killed it. So absolutely amazing stuff. We have Chetan over here. Really clean UI. It looks really nice. Awesome stuff, dude. So well done to you. And we've got Tyler Tony. This is unique, right? Anything which is unique makes me want to scroll down, makes me want to have a look what's going on. I would probably add a few more things here in terms of work, but otherwise awesome stuff, dude. I just liked it because it was completely unique. Right, it caught my attention straight away, right? And even here, you got me looking around the screen like, oh, okay, I am a self-taught developer, And yeah, this is just clean. This is so different. And I love how the left and the right stick in place as I scroll. So it looks really, really cool, dude. Over 200 people on YouTube. What's up? Welcome, guys. Harry Collins says, that's a sick concept design. Yeah, it is. Honestly, I really do like this one. Right, amazing, amazing stuff, guys. So with that said, we've got 10 bonus points to these beautiful people and the featured profiles before everyone else. Thank you for submitting your homework. Everyone will get 5 points for submitting. So you guys are absolutely killing it, right? We've got submissions from all over the world. Comment now if you got featured. I want to see if you guys are actually here and you saw yourself on the stream. Or if you're watching a replay, make sure you drop a comment in the comment section. So that way I know you can go ahead and check in. Right, this is why the Papa Fam community is the best in the world, right? Every single one of you are helping each other out. Just take a look at this, right? This is in the Facebook group. Everyone who gets stuck, straight away, there's a response, right? So literally the same time that this was posted, you know, Jonathan literally jumped in and said, hey bro, first connect your wallet. He's helping him out, right? This is literally what we do in the Papa Fam. We create a community where everybody is literally helping everyone else get past those blockers, get past those hurdles, get past that doubt that if you're not like, you know, a lot of us feel like we're not good enough to be a developer. That's not true. You are good enough to be a developer. And this is the challenge that's going to show you that. Before we jump into coding, remember, sign up to that final grand finale. It's really important because I'm giving away so much free stuff on that final day and I want you all to benefit from it. I got lots of messages last time saying, I didn't get a book, I didn't get this. It's because you didn't sign up. So you have to sign up. Otherwise, it's unfair for those who did sign up if I just give it to everyone. So make sure you sign up. Without further ado, let's jump into this NFT drop website. Right on cue, we literally had Mr. Nobody absolutely smash it with a €5 donation. Amazing, amazing stuff. Right, let's keep going, guys. I'm going to mix up the music before we jump into some of this coding. I'm going to go ahead and chuck on my new playlist as well. So let's go ahead and put this on over here. We've got some new additions, right? So let's go ahead and jump in now, okay? So first thing we're gonna do is set up a project, right? So we're gonna set up a Next.js project, and I'm gonna show you right now. So this is what we're gonna do. Another one, yeah. Oh, that blew my ears off. What's up? That's literally when we get a donation. I hear that in my ears. Amazing stuff. Thank you, Mr. Nobody. Appreciate that, man. It feels so bad when I say Mr. Nobody, but that's his name, right? So we're gonna jump into some live coding right now. So this is what we're going to build, and I'm going to show you how to go from literally absolutely not knowing what to do to absolutely crushing this thing, right? So first thing you want to do is head over to tailwind.css.com, right? So tailwindcss.com, and basically you can find this page by simply typing in Tailwind CSS space Next.js, right? So literally you can type in Tailwind CSS Next.js and this thing will pop up, and basically it's a quick start guide, right? It's really awesome. It's a nice little handy template, and what you want to do is, you see this link at the top, right? Is that the one? No, that's not the one. It's the GitHub. That's not that one. Go down here. It's this one. Install Next.js with Tailwind. This one right here, right? So this is the command you're going to need. npx create next app. And then what we're doing here is we're using something called a template. Now, this template is basically going to go ahead. This music is well distracting. We'll change it to a different one, right? We're going to use this template, which basically says, set up a Next.js app for us, a starter project, but set it up with Tailwind. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this. The final bit at the end is simply the name of your project. So feel free at this point to name it whatever the hell you want, all right? So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to open up my terminal. And I'm going to go ahead and make it nice and big for you guys. and I'm going to go ahead and paste this in, right? Now, what I'm going to do here is change my project to actually something a bit more meaningful. So in this case, we're going to say NFT challenge. Yeah, NFT challenge, right? And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Thank you so much, Mohammed and Shwayam Joshi. 2 donations coming in back to back. Awesome stuff. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Right, we're going to go ahead and hit enter. What this will now do is it will go ahead and it will ask you, do you want to install? Say yes by hitting the Y key and hitting enter. This is going to go ahead and set up our first Next.js project. Okay, so this is going to basically do its thing. It's going to go ahead and download all the dependencies. And as I mentioned before, if you get stuck at any of these points, use the community to ask questions, use the community to overcome those problems. Okay, now while that's happening, I'm going to show you a few other things that we're going to need to do. So open up a tab in Chrome and head over to docs.thirdweb.com/react. All right, so this is the website that you're going to want to go to, docs.thirdweb.com/react. Right, so get this page ready. And this page is essentially going to be the SDK that we're going to use to connect to thirdweb and all of its services. Now, what does that mean? It means that when we have that nice little Metamask login feature, so when we log into our application, it's going to allow us to go ahead and really nicely implement a small bit of code with a lot of power behind it. And that's basically going to allow us to use the login, logout functionality associated with the Metamask part of the app. Okay, so let's go ahead and check on our app. Awesome stuff. You can see success. Everything's done. So you should get this right here afterwards, right? So what you're going to do then is you need to go into that directory. So we type in cd nft-challenge and we hit enter. And now you can see I'm in that directory and I'm going to go ahead and type in code dot. Right now, at this point, if code dot doesn't work for you, the way to get that working, okay, is you want to go ahead and do Command Shift P inside of VS Code and type in shell. Right, and you should get this install. Yours will say install code. I've got the insider edition, but yours will say install code command in path. Then you can do that. If you can't do that or you don't want to do that, simply go to open folder and find the folder that you just set up your project in. So in this case, it's over here, NFT challenge. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to get to this page. Okay, so we're looking pretty good at this point. I'm just going to go ahead and get my screens all set up so we can go ahead and code really nicely. Okay, awesome stuff. Right, Zion says, can I donate $10,000? I mean, be my guest, dude. Be my guest. Go for it. I mean, it will hype me up. Right, so at this point, we've got the get started, guys. We don't need that. We can close that out. Now, this is the starter point when you basically get started with a Next.js project. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you guys. I'm going to quickly give a brief explanation as to what's going on over here, right? If you go into pages, this is where all of the sort of pages for your application will exist. In Next.js, they have something called a built-in router. This means that when we have several pages on our website, all we have to do is create a file with the page root name. All right, so in this case, the home page would be known as index.tsx. So this is the starting point. We can ignore that for now. Index.tsx is where everything's going to basically get started. And as you can see, we are using Typescript, right? We're actually using Typescript right now. Giddy Coder says, wow, it's my first time watching live. What's up? Welcome to the stream. All right, check this out. So over here, we can go ahead and see const home equals next page. You don't need to worry too much about what's going on here, but basically what this is doing is we're basically rendering something called a functional component. And this is returning a bunch of HTML and CSS and JavaScript. It's called JSX back to us. So I want to run this run this app now. So how do I do that? Command J, go to my terminal. And all I need to do is basically, if I do Command B, I'm going to have a look here and I can see yarn.lock. So I'm going to be using yarn today. But if you see a package.lock file, then you can be using npm, right? It's okay, whichever one you use. In this case, I'm going to type in yarn run dev. And what this will do is it will start my app up in the developer mode, okay? I actually have an app running, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel my app right now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start it up on a separate port. You guys will are able to run it on 3000. I'm going to do it on 3001 because I've got my other app running because I want to use that as a demo. And you should get this screen here. Thank you so much, Sharon Preet Singh, for the donation. Appreciate that. Awesome stuff, right? So if it's not TSX, then you're going to have to install TSX. But in that case, you probably messed up starting up, right? But make sure you follow exactly as I started up. All right, so with that said now, we're going to go ahead and basically clear this screen out. So I'm going to push this on the side, push this over here, Command J to have my terminal. And I'm going to make everything a bit smaller so you can see, right? The resolution on this video is quite high, so it's not too bad. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and delete everything inside of main. So all the way down to the closing main. And as you can see, if I do that, I'm going to get rid of everything except the footer. So I want to get rid of the footer as well, right? So now you can see it's all gone. Everything's gone and cleared up. Now, what is this head component? What the hell is going on? Chris Cobb just dropped a $50 donation. He says, you're absolutely crushing it. Appreciate your hard work. Dude, thank you so much. That's massive, dude. A $50 donation. I appreciate you, man. And it's awesome to have you here, Chris. Absolutely killing it. I want to see your homework submissions. I want to see you absolutely crushing it in this challenge. Dude, thank you. That's massive. Got me pumped up. So at this point, what you want to do is, this is a special head component. And what this does is it allows us to inject HTML into the head of the document. So what I can do here is I can go ahead and change this to, if you can see over here, it says create React app. So if I go ahead and hover over here, it says create next app right here, right? Create next app, sorry. So here I can change this to NFT drop. And as you can see now, it will say NFT drop in the top corner, right? And this little logo right there, you can change the favia icon if you really want to, right? I'm not gonna show you how to, it's up to you if you wanna do that. But right now, these styles over here is what centers everything. So this is just Tailwind CSS styling that's going and getting thrown in there, right? Universe Code says, wow, man, this is the proof. We missed you, Sonny. What's up? Your boy's back. Don't worry about it. Right. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and clear out everything. Right. So I don't want any styling. I don't want anything here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Right. All I want you to do is type in H1 and type in welcome to the NFT drop challenge. Okay. Hit enter, and now you should see a very simple welcome to the NFT drop challenge pop up. Now I'm going to give you a quick breakdown as to what Tailwind CSS is and how it works, right? So Tailwind CSS is basically a really awesome way of writing our CSS in a fast and honestly productive manner. Thank you, Nikhil, for the donations. You guys are on fire today with donations. Thank you, guys. Right, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to use Tailwind CSS. So if I type in class name, I can start writing CSS in here with Tailwind. Now, the way we do that is if I want to change the Tailwind, the color of the text, right? And I would recommend before you do any of this, head over to your extensions tab, type in Tailwind and install this extension right here, Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. This is going to allow you to have all of the sort of nice kind of autocomplete suggestions when you're getting started, okay? Remember, guys, if you're getting any issues, I can see some issues in the comments, make sure you just join the Facebook group Discord server. There's no point spamming the chat. That's the place to go, right? So in this case, I'm going to type in text. Let's just say red. And as you can see, if I do control spacebar, I can see loads of different shades of red. So this is a beautiful little example. I hit this, enter, and I hit save. Now the text turned red. So literally, if I hover over this, you can see this translates to this CSS. So what we call this is basically the short version is called a utility class. And then what it goes ahead and actually translates to is this. So you can always see what it will translate to, right? Now, what if I want to make the text bigger? I can go ahead and do something like this. I can say text 4XL. And as you can see, boom, we get 4XL. What if I want to make it bold? Well, now I can go ahead and say font. And I can go down here and say bold. Bam, now it's bold. You can see the benefit, right? This literally works across everything. It works with Flexbox, all this other stuff. So whenever you see me typing class names into our HTML elements, this is what I'm doing. Okay, so if you get stuck at any point, as I mentioned, Discord, Facebook groups, join us at Zero to Full Stack Hero. This is what we do. This is how we teach our students, and we get nothing but success. Okay, so with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the first portion now. As you can see, if I go over to the main application, right, what we have on the home screen is let me go ahead and load it up. We have this, right? And I'm going to show you this tomorrow, but basically this is the home screen, right? But we're not going to focus on this today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click into one of the collections I have. And as you can see, the root says something like this, right? I'm going to go ahead and actually paste this into here. So the root says something like http:/localhost 3000, so that's where my app's running, /NFT / the collection name, so Papa Fam Apes, right? So how do I get a URL like this, NFT / Papa Fam Apes, right? Well, the way you can do this in a very easy manner with Next.js is you basically go ahead to your folder structure and you go inside your pages. You can ignore the API. We're not going to be using that right now. You go to index and basically click on add a new file. Right now, at this point, I'm just going to show you an example of something. Right, if I go ahead and create a file called, let's call it search.tsx, right? And I'm going to use something called a snippet here. So I'm going to show you how to get these. If you want the snippets that I'm about to use, then make sure you go to your extensions and download this beautiful extension right here. ES7 React Redux snippets, right? So all of this stuff. Thank you, Orhan Bilge, for a lovely donation. Appreciate you, bro. That's amazing. And we've got Manpreet says, tip 555, big fan from Germany. Been following from a year. Do check your Insta box in your free time. Oh, thank you, dudes. That's really cool. That's it. Awesome stuff, man. Thank you so much, man. So at this point, install this. And if here, you can type in RFCE. Oops, RFCE. This basically gives me a template, right? This gives me a template for going ahead and getting started, right? So you can see I've got a search page here now. Now you're probably wondering, okay, I'm following along, but what have you just done? Like, what was the point of that? Well, now if I go to /search and hit enter, you can see the search. Now if I type in search page, boom, there you go, right? So we've literally created a page just by creating a file. So it's very easy, right? So let's go ahead and actually create the NFT routing part, right? So at this point, I'm going to create a folder and I'm going to go ahead and say NFT, right? So what I'm doing is I'm creating the first part of the route. Now for the second part of the route, I want it to be a wildcard because it might be Papa Fam Apes, it might be Cyberpunks, it might be all these kind of crazy different names. So the way I basically go ahead and have it so that I can have something like this, I can have /NFT / Papa Fam Apes or something like that, right? I want to have whatever I want here. It could be something like Cyberpunks or something like that, or Astroheads, whatever the case, right? What I do here now is I go into this folder, I create a new file, and I go ahead and I put these square brackets and I say ID, and then outside the brackets .tsx. So what this is saying is it will be /NFT / a wildcard. So that brackets there can be anything. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to type in RFCE, and here you have to be careful, right? I'm going to basically go ahead and change this to, let's call this one the NFT drop page. Okay, so this is going to be the NFT drop page. And what am I talking about here? Well, I'm actually talking about this. This is called an NFT drop page, right? Thank you, Have GT goes, I love you. Thanks you. I'm in the hiring process with Twilio. Awesome stuff, man. Twilio is a big company. That should be proud of yourself, man. Right, so at this point, we've got the page getting set up. So now if you can say this is the NFT drop page. So let's test this out. If we go to /NFT / Papa Fam Apes, and I go see, now we can see this is the NFT drop page. Okay, .NET Core, dude, you're gone. Jay, sort that out. Right, that's it. No room for negativity here. Yeah? So this is the NFT drop page. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and actually start building this page out, right? And again, it's going to be a responsive page. You can see here on small screens, it looks like this. And on the large screens, it looks like this, right? So what we're going to now do is basically start laying this out, right? So what I'm going to do is basically go ahead and start off with, let's kind of use this as a base, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pop this on the next screen over here. I'm going to close this up. So now I can go ahead and efficiently code. Right, so we're going to go back and forth like this. So the left-hand side is what I'm going to be building first, right? So what I'm going to do is basically split my page up, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and basically do something I like to do. You guys know I like to do this. I'm going to basically just start putting comments here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say something like left side of the screen is going to go here. So this is going to be a div that represents the left side of the screen. Then I'm going to have the right side of the screen. So I'm going to have a div that goes over here. So I've got my left, I've got my right, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the stuff inside of the right? So, you know, like all of this stuff, I'm gonna have something else. But let's get started off with the left side of the screen. This is where the picture is, this is where all that good stuff is. So first thing I wanna do here is I wanna have, I'm gonna have a div, so another div inside of here. Right, and that's because basically what I want to do is I want to center all the elements inside of here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is create for this one, I want to give it a background color. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to say background. Oh, oops, class name. Sorry, class name. I'm going to say background should be a gradient. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, I think. Yeah, because that way you guys can see what's going on. I'm going to say background gradient. Okay, and this is going to be to bottom right. Okay, and what you can do here is you can pick a from color. So I'm going to say from cyan 800 to rows 500. And if I go ahead and hit enter now, you can see that nothing came up. And you're probably wondering, well, that's useless, right? So this is because our overall div doesn't have any value, right? It hasn't got any height constraints or anything like that. So in the outer div, what I need to do is I'm going to say this is a flexbox, right? And if you don't know flexbox, don't know all that stuff, this is not going to be a video where I explain flexbox. But if you want to join more, join Zero to Full Stack Hero or check out Flexbox Froggy, amazing game online, right? So go ahead and type in flex, type in height of screen. So I'm going to say the minimum height of this should be the height of the screen. And I'm going to say it's flex column, okay? Flex column. And what we're going to do now, as you can see at this point, we still don't see anything, right? So on the left-hand side of the screen, I'm just going to put a H1 here saying hello. And you can see, there we go, right? It's because we had nothing inside there. But you can see already I've got some form of a gradient happening, right? So you can see we're slowly getting to where we want to get to, right? So inside of this div now, what I want to do is I want to create an image, right? And this image is going to go ahead and have a picture of an ape inside of it, right? Remember, take your time with this stuff. Don't rush it. It's completely fine. I've gone ahead and simplified the picture part for you. So what we're actually going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of this ape. So I've got the picture over here somewhere. Where is it? Over here. So I'm going to grab that. So image source is going to be a picture of an ape. So links.papareact.com/8sg. So I've made your life easy. This is a massive picture of an ape right now. Okay. Now, obviously that's not what we want, but you can see where we're going with this, right? So what I want to do is I want to give this a bit of styling, right? So I'm going to go ahead and change this ape so it looks a bit nicer than what we're seeing right now. I'm going to firstly give it a class name so I can start styling the image. I'm going to say a width of 44. And then you can see we get to a smaller size now, okay? I'm going to say that this should have rounded corners, so rounded XL. It should be object cover, so object cover. So that way, if it ever gets smaller, it's going to go ahead and be able to do its thing, right? Now, what I want to do is, you can see that that's actually the size of the picture when it's small. So I need to explain something about Tailwind CSS. Everything I write on Tailwind CSS is mobile first. So all of the rules that you're seeing right now, they get applied from the smallest size upward, right? We only apply to bigger screen sizes if I introduce something called breakpoints, right? So I'm going to explain this and show you how this works, right? But this is how we build responsive apps, okay? So as you can see here, I'm not using the next image component right now because we can't actually predict the URL here. But once we've actually gone ahead and set up Sanity, you can whitelist the Sanity host name. So you can whitelist this name and then you can use it. So feel free as part of the challenge to do that, right? But that's the reasoning, Louise. Okay, so you can see mobile first, right? So this is always going to be applied, these styles. But what I want to do is on a large screen, I want to apply a bigger height and width. So you can see over here, it's quite big, right? So the way I do it is I go ahead and say large. So you've got small, you've got medium, you've got large and so forth. I say large colon. And then what I do is I type in height of 96. And on the large screen, I want to also change the width of 72. Okay. So now you can see on a small screen, it stays small. Okay. But on a large screen, bam. Can you see that? It changed. Right. So on small screens, it's here. On large screens, it changes. So now we can start getting the nice responsive UI. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of a little error message somewhere that I can see. I'm not sure why I'm seeing that, but get rid of it. I don't want to press a button that's going to ruin the stream. Okay, there we go. All right. So at this point, you can see now, there we go. All right. So this is the introduction to responsive design. Okay. So that's looking pretty neat at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and use that as an example. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and have some text under it. So I want to have Papa Fam Apes, a collection of apes who live and breathe React. Okay. So at this point, what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and have underneath this image. So let's go ahead and pop a div under it. Inside of here, I'm going to have a H1 and I'm going to have a H2 afterwards. And this is basically, the first one's going to say Papa Fam Apes. Right now it's static information, right? And then tomorrow we're going to introduce Sanity CMS, right? So over here, I'm going to put a H2. And I'm going to go ahead and let me know if you're coding along right now. I'm going to copy this. So a collection of apes, douche, pop it in there. And as you can see now, I've got Papa Fam Apes, a collection of Papa Fam Apes who live and breathe React. So I'm going to need to make this get to this, right? And I want to center it, do all that cool stuff. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So the first thing we're going to style is the H1. So H1, I'm going to say text for XL. right? Text for Excel. And as you can see, Papa Fam Apes changed to a bigger size, right? I'm going to now say the font should be bold. So font bold. And I'm going to say the text should be white. You can see the reason why I love Tailwind, right? It's so clean. Luis Perez, awesome stuff. He goes, I'm coding along. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Thank you so much for the support, right? On the H2, we're going to type in class name, and I'm going to say the text should be extra large, but I want this one to be a gray color, and I want it to be a shade of 300, okay? Butters says, coding along, bro. Awesome stuff. That's what I'm talking about, guys. So you can see now we've got the right fonts, right? Now there's a difference here. Right? Can you see? Can anyone notice between this ape and this ape? Right? So over here, this one's got a nice little gradient behind it. So I'm going to show you a little trick now. Okay, Charles Crook from Sweden. What's up? He's coding along as well. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and show you how we get that nice little gradient around it. So this image element, right? I'm going to surround it in a div. Okay, so I'm going to surround it in a div. I'm going to change the song as well. Right? So I'm going to surround it in a div. Right, so watch this. I wonder if someone can beat me to it. Right, so I've got my div here. So now the div is essentially wrapping or surrounding the image tag. Okay, so this one, I like this track. This is pretty sick. JR, is the audio good, guys? Let me know. Right, so class name over here, I'm going to go ahead and change it. I'm going to say that this should be a background gradient to the bottom right, and it's going to go from a color which is yellow. I'm going to say a shade of 400 to purple, right, to purple, which is 600. Okay, now you can see, boom, I get this behind, but that doesn't look right. Okay, it's not exactly what I wanted. So at this point, what I now do is I'm gonna go ahead and go to the outer container, and what we need to actually establish here is some rules for the overall container surrounding these two things. So I need to say it's a flex box, right? Flex will use up minimal storage, and what flex by nature does is it puts the items, which are basically this child and this child, next to each other. It puts them in a row. Okay, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do, our coder Sam says, you're not a good coder, you're a coding god. I thought someone was being negative there, but absolutely awesome stuff. Thank you, dude. Flex, and what we're gonna say is I'm gonna say flex column. So I'm gonna push it back into a column. Okay, now at this point, I'm gonna say everything should be centered. I don't like it looking like this, right? I'm gonna say items should be on the center. So as soon as I do that, bam, it centers, and notice how it's conservative with its space, right? So it's conservative with its space. It doesn't now span everything. I'm going to say we should also justify center, right? So that's going to basically center everything on the other axis. Now here I'm going to say padding Y. So padding on the Y axis of 2. So you can see now that I introduced a little gap on the Y axis. And then I'm going to go ahead and say on a large screen, I want the minimum height of this container to be the height of the screen. Okay, so now notice on this mobile view, this is fine, but I want it to take up the minimum height of the screen on a mobile, on a large screen. So you guys can see how that works. So on a large screen, it takes up the minimum height has to be applied, but otherwise it's a mobile view. Okay, awesome stuff, right? So at this point, Yuvraj, go for it, dude. So at this point, we're going to carry on with what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit smaller so you can see it. So we've got a few things which aren't right here, okay? The first obvious one is that this picture doesn't actually have the border that we're kind of looking at, right? So I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to say it needs a padding of 2. Now you can see, oh, it's starting to get there, right? If we give it a padding, you can see on the inside, now we've got some padding around it, but the edges aren't rounded. So I need to add in one more addition, which says rounded XL. Hit save, and what it's doing is auto formatting. That's why it might just move around. All right, so check this out. Subscribed on 32 and now start building projects on 132. Habib Pro, thank you, dude. Now look at that. Awesome stuff. Look how clean that looks, guys. Already looking pretty nice. Okay, so we're going pretty at a good pace right now. Okay, so what I want you to now do is go ahead and firstly smash the like button if you're enjoying this, right? Because this is looking pretty damn awesome already, right? What I'm going to do is go to our div, which is surrounding our H1 and our H2. What I want to do here is give it a class name. So start styling. I'm going to say the text should be center, right? Now you can see everything kind of flies into the middle. I'm going to give the entire box a padding of 5. right? So you can see that gives it a bit more spacing so it can breathe a little bit. And you see these children, right? You see between them on the y-axis, I want to have a bit of space. So what you can do with Tailwind, which is really nice, is you can say space y of 2, okay? Now you can see that actually spaced it out. So if I was to give that like space y6, you can see it's a bit greater. So space y of 2, nice kind of mid spot, right? So now you can see, bam, that's looking really, really beautiful. Okay, so at this point, we've got the Papa Fam Apes, like the beginning portion, pretty damn good, right? It's pretty damn nice, right? So what I now want to do is I want to basically go ahead and change the layout when it goes onto a big screen. So I don't want this to take up my entire screen, right? I want to have it as a split. I want to have this. So what I'm actually going to show you guys is something called CSS Grid. Now, CSS Grid basically can be set up in a way where you can say, I want 10 columns, right? And I want this area to take up 4 columns, and I want this area to take up 6 columns. So if we literally take that exact example and we look at it here, imagine this entire page is 10 columns, and this section over here is 4 columns, and this section over here is 6 columns, right? What it will then do is it will go ahead and distribute that space as I resize. Then when it hits the sort of, you know, the smaller screen, it changes back to flex, right? So on the large screen, we go to grid. On the small screen, we go to flex. Large screen grid, or small screen flex. Oh, tongue twister, right? So you can see what's going on here, yeah? So at this point, and don't worry, we're gonna make it super easy, okay? So the way we do this is we simply go to the large breakpoint and we say, when we hit a large screen, I wanna change it to a grid layout instead of the default flex, because remember, these are mobile first. When we hit large, change it to a grid. And I'm also gonna say that we're gonna go ahead and say that this grid should have 10 columns. Okay, so you should have 10 columns. Now, if I go ahead and do this full screen now, you can see what it's naturally done here is it's put the first child in 1 column because it's trying to be conservative. Okay, so I need to tell it you can use up 4 columns. Okay, so you can use up 4 columns, that's okay. So the way I do that is I go to my left container over here, the div which is next to the left container, and I go over and I say that on a large screen, I want to do column span. So span across 4 columns. Okay, so if I hit save now, you see it just reformatted, so it pushed it to the end to make it neater. Now you can see, bam, it takes up 4 of the columns. And look what happens, guys. That grid is only getting applied on the large screen size, and then pop, it goes into flex column, right? So this is looking pretty sick right now, right? So you've got a flex view over here, and then we've got our grid view over here, okay? So smash the thumbs up button if you're enjoying this right now. Literally crushing it right now. Honestly, this is doing very good progress right now, okay? So we've got the left section down. What I'm gonna do now is on the right-hand side is I'm gonna go ahead and create this top section over here, create this middle section, and this nice little mint button, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and do this right now. So inside the right-hand side section, I wanna firstly sort of separate it into different parts, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and say the first bit is gonna be the header. So this is gonna resemble, I'm now doing the right-hand side section, okay? So when I say right-hand side, this is literally it. And Mr. Notes, man, this guy is such a good teacher. Thank you, dude, appreciate you. So on the right-hand side, where we've got the header, I'm gonna basically go ahead and do this. Charles Crook, what's up? He goes, let's go, nice, man, thank you, dude. We've got the header here, and I'm going to go ahead and also say the content. Now, the header refers to this bit. The content refers to this bit, okay? So let me see if I got my pen. Ah, there we go. We want my nice little pen. So this is going to be the content, and this bit is the header, okay? So content is going to be over here. Header is over here, and then we've got a nice little button over here, okay? Excuse that, I'm freehanding it right now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is this nice little header over here. So let's deal with that first. And let's create another little placeholder for now, which is the mint button. Okay, you see, when you comment things out, it actually makes the whole thing easier because your mind isn't going crazy like, where am I at right now? It just goes there and you can just digest it as you want to take your time, right? So for the header, I'm going to introduce a div. Right, you could even use a header over here, right? You could, if you want to use a header, you can use a header element. That's completely fine. It just makes it more SEO friendly, right? Mike Boliski says, that's sick. I need to learn Tailwind. Dude, we literally teach all this stuff in 0 to Full Stack Hero. So absolutely amazing stuff. Bao says, how are you doing the fast commenting setup? Oh yeah, so the fast commenting right now is command and forward slash. That's how you basically uncomment comment, right? So at this point, I've got my header, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say it's a H1, right? And this is going to say the Papa Fam NFT marketplace. Okay, hit save, and now you can see the PapaFam NFT marketplace. Awesome, looks pretty okay, I guess. Right, and that's basically going to resemble this bit. Okay, and then next to this H1 component, I'm going to have a button, and this button is going to say sign in. Okay, so sign in. Right, so you can see that's a button, and what a Tailwind likes to do is likes to strip all the styling off of it. Right, Louise says, gotta love those speed tricks. That's it, dude. Honestly, you know, it's all about the little productivity hacks. So keep learning them, and they're gonna take you a long way, right? So the first thing I want to style is the H1. So I'm gonna say class name. I'm gonna give it a set height of 52. So that way on the small screen, it will just wrap around. I'm gonna give it a cursor pointer. So that way when we highlight over it, it's actually gonna give me a sort of a very nice, width of 52, not height. Width of 52. I was wondering why it pushed down. So now you can see it wraps on the small screen, but on the bigger screen, it will give it enough space to go ahead and spread out, right? We'll fix that afterwards. That's fine. So width of 52, and then I'm going to say cursor pointer. So now you can see my cursor changes to a pointer when I go over it. Then I'm going to change it to a text XL, right? Text XL. And then I'm going to say that its font should be extra light. And I want on the small screen, I'm going to change it to a width of 80. Okay. So basically what I'm doing here, right? So this may be a bit confusing. Remember, this is mobile view, and then mobile view is not small view. Mobile view is a mobile view. This is mobile view. When we hit the small screen, it changes the width to 80. That's why on the big screens upwards, it's all 80. And then on the mobile view, so it's mobile, small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, 3XL, and so forth. Okay. So in this case, you can see now we've got the same nice little layout that we have over here, right? So you can see mobile view pops up, and then we've got this thing. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we move on now. So how the hell do I style the PapaFam to look like that, right? So what I want to do here is where we've got PapaFam in text, I'm going to span a class around it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say span, and I'm going to take the PapaFam portion and put it inside of the span. Right, and span is basically when you're in a span a class between two things. And now we've got a problem. You see, I've got this spacing issue. So you can either put a space here and a space here. That does the trick. Or you can go ahead and put something like this involved, right? So it really depends on how you want to do it. I'm just going to put a space here and a space here to make life easier. And I'm going to go ahead and say class name, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to say this middle bit where it says PapaFam should be extra bold, right? So extra bold. If I do that, bam, the NFT bit, PapaFam turns NFT bold. Then I'm going to say it should be underlined. And since Tailwind CSS version 3, you can now do awesome stuff like decoration sort of changing, right? So I'm going to say decoration of the underline should be a pink color, right? So pink color. I'm going to do 600. Now that's a bit intense though. And you can also see there's another issue. It spans over that space. So what I'm going to now do is actually take this out, put this over here, take this out, put this over here, and save. And then that way it doesn't come into that space. Okay. So that's basically just forcing a little space there. Okay. So now you can see we've changed this, but I want that to be a little less intense, right? So what I do is I do / and I say 50. And this is basically saying, give it half the opacity. So now you can see it's like a subtle, right? And if I did 10, it'll give it 10% opacity. If I give it like 20% opacity and so forth, okay? So this is gonna help you out a little bit when you're doing what you're doing, okay? Jay, we all good? Yeah, sick. All right, this is going really good, guys. Smash the thumbs up button if you're enjoying this video so far. The energy right now is really good. Right, we're going at a good pace. So at this point, we've got the PapaFam NFT marketplace. So this is looking nice, right? So what I'm now gonna do is put the sign in button over here. Right, and I'm going to style it up. So firstly, let's style up the button so that way it's easier to deal with. So I'm going to put a class name, and I'm going to say rounded full. So it's a rounded button, and I'm going to say the background in this case should be a gray color, and actually let's give it a rose color, and it's 400. And I'm going to say the text should be white. Okay, so the text should be white, and I'm going to give it padding X of 4. So now you can see the padding on the X-axis is a bit bigger. And then I'm going to say the padding on the Y-axis should be half. So padding 2, Y-axis of 2, right? The text should be extra small. Okay, so boom, gets a little bit smaller on the phones. I'm going to say the font should be bold. and then I'm going to change it when it gets onto the big screen, right? So now I want to make it responsive. So when I get onto a big screen, I want that button to change. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and basically say on a large screen, so on the large screen, I want to change the padding on the x-axis to 5. On a large screen, I want to change the padding on the y-axis to 3. And on the large screen, I want to change the text back to its original size, which is text space. Okay, so there you go. I can do that. And if I go ahead and make this bigger, you see how it's, as soon as we hit the large breakpoint, look at the button sign in, it changed. It got bigger padding, it got bigger text. Awesome, looking really nice, right? So now I need them to situate themselves amongst, like basically across each other, and use equispacing, right? So I want it to look like this, and I'll show you how we can neutral out the button afterwards as well. Right. Any questions? Vision, he says, what does minting NFT mean? Please go to the Facebook group. They'll answer questions over there. Now's not the time on the stream, right? So on this bit where we've got the header, I'm basically going to go ahead, and you see where we have this H1 and button, right, as both being children of the header. So if I go ahead and say class name flex, right, remember it goes into a row by default. But now what I want to do is I want to say items should be center, which will center it on the y-axis. Oops, center, sorry, item center. And then I'm going to say justify between. And what this will do is it will space out the components between each other. So now you can see it's just going to calculate the space between them, but it's not doing it for the large, right? So I need to figure out why that's not happening. So in this case, if I go over to our div outside and I say class name, I'm going to give this a flex box, right? And I'm going to say that this should be flex1. So it should use up as much room as possible. If you want to learn about flex1 and that kind of stuff, check out Flexbox Froggy. I'm going to say this should be flex column. Okay. So now what this is going to do is it's going to basically go ahead and, oh, okay, no, I see what we've got to do here. Made a mistake. All right. So on this view, it's a flex box, right? So this is why we have to use as much space as possible, right? So in this case, okay, yeah, I see what we're doing. All right. So now we need to say P12, padding a 12. So I'm padding it out. But when we go over to this size, right? Remember, we're in grid view. When we go to large screen, we're on the grid view. Okay. So now what we need to do is go ahead and basically have this use up the 6. Remember before, what I told you guys was this will take up 4 columns and this will take up 6 columns. We haven't told it yet it can take up 6, hence why it's just thinking that this is its space, right? So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say, where am I at? Here. Yeah, I'm going to say on the large screen, column span of 6, right? Now, check this out. Boom. There we go. Sick. Looking good. Now it knows to take up the rest of the space. BK Roland says, Papa, thank you so much. I landed my $4,000 job at Turing. It's me, BK Roland from Uganda. That's incredible, dude. Jay, snap that. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Awesome stuff, man. This is what it's about at the Papa Fam. Nothing but positivity, right? Now we're going to carry on strong, guys. I need that underline underneath here, right? So we've got underneath the header now. I'm going to go ahead and put a horizontal line. Right, so we call this horizontal row, and you can see there's a little line that gets placed there now, right? So I'm going to quickly style that. So I'm going to say class name equals margin y of 2. So it's going to basically give it spacing outside of it. And I'm going to say give it a border as well, right? So that way we get thick a little bit, right? Nice. Yishaya says, loving the stream so far. Awesome stuff, right? Thank you so much for tuning in. So now you can see we've got that nice little underline. So that's looking pretty clean, okay? What I want to do now is figure out the content part. So I'm going to be doing this bit, the Papa Fam Ape Coding Club, this goodness over here, right? So what we're going to do firstly is we're going to put in a div. This is going to resemble the box for the content. Next thing I'm going to do is put an image. For that image, I've made your life easy. Don't worry. I've actually shortened the URL. So right now we're going to use a static image, which is this one right here, right? So check this out. I love when people say, can you help me fix my problem on a stream? Like, I can't stop the stream, right? But here you can see I've got the image popping up, right? But we want it to kind of crop it like this because it could be big, it could be small, that kind of stuff, right? So Jay, that is so jokes. What just happened? All right, so in this case, we've got image class name. I'm going to go ahead and say a width of 80. And now you'll see it gets this like shrunken look to it, right? But what I can do to fix this, right, is I'm going to say firstly, I'm going to say object cover. So object cover. And wait, I'm not done something correctly. Object cover. So I'm going to say padding bottom of 10. Right, and I'm going to say on a large screen, I want this to be a height of 40. Right, so on the smaller screen, you see it will look like this, which is fine. But on the large screen, I want to crop at a height of 40. So now you can see when I go to a large screen, pow, cover, object cover. If I did object contain, you would get it'll keep its aspect ratio, but it wouldn't look right. Okay, so this is pretty sick, right? This is looking pretty good so far. Okay, so now we've got the large height of 40. What I want you to do now is go over to the next line and put a H1. Right, so H1, and here we're going to go ahead and have the collection title. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to copy and paste this one, call it the Papa Fam Ape Coding Club. So bam, save. Right, now over here, I'm going to give class name, and I'm going to say this one should be text 3XL, and this should be font bold. Right, so now you can see it looks a little bit nicer. Right, but when we hit a large screen, I want to change this once again. So large screens should be text 5XL, and it should be a font should be extra bold, right? So font should be extra bold, like so. So now if you see when I get to a large screen, boom, it changed size, right? So small, big, right? So you see how we're getting a bit responsive, right? Ivan says, good, proud to watch you, man. Keep good job and keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Ivan Dorian. Appreciate you, man. Samba says, hello from Cambodia. What's up? Right, so you can see this is looking pretty nice, right? So what I want to do is I want to basically go ahead and center all this stuff. It doesn't look right how we've done it so far. So this div, which is holding all the children, I'm going to give it a margin top of 10. So it pushes away from that bit, right? So now you can see on the small screen, this is looking more like what we have over here. And then what I want to say is that this should be a flex box. I want it to take up as much room as possible. So flex 1. And then I'm going to say it should be a column flex box. If I don't put the column in, watch what happens. It does that. Remember, it goes into a row, right? So I need to say flex column, and it stays into a column. And then I want to say items center, and that will center all my components, right? We're not done yet. I need to space out my components. So I'm going to say space on the y-axis of 6, and that will space this out. Reason for that is because I want it to space out over here. So you can see over here, I've done the same thing, right? So we've got the same sort of spacing. Right, it's just not centered yet, so we will get it centered. It'll look perfect, right? So spacing y-axis of 6, and I'm going to center the text. Bam, looking pretty damn good, right? Now on the large screen, you can see that gap's quite big, right? On the small screen, I don't mind it, but the large screen is pretty damn big, right? So I'm going to say on the large screen, I want to firstly justify the items in the center. I'll show you that one afterwards, right? I'm going to say LG space X of 0. Space Y of 0, sorry. So I want to get rid of that spacing on when we get to a big screen. So notice this gap here, and watch what happens when it gets bigger. Right, boom. You see how it actually got smaller, that gap. Right, now the next problem is it's not centered, right? I want this to be centered on the y-axis. So what I do is I say on a large screen, justify it on the center. Bam, just like that, goes to the center. Looking at that, it's just it's so crazy. Like using a couple of cool things like Tailwind and Next.js, how quickly you can get to such an awesome looking app, right? And it's so responsive, looks beautiful, works on your phone. It's looking pretty good, right? So at this point, we now want to get the button in there, right? So feel free to make this, absolute position, or if you want to do that, do whatever you want to do. But what we're going to do now is basically, I'm going to go ahead and hard code this value in. Remember, tomorrow, the next day, we're going to link all this stuff up, so don't stress, right? So underneath the H1 tag, I'm going to put a P tag, okay, a P tag, and say 13 of 21 FTs claimed. I'm going to style this, and we're basically going to go ahead and change this out tomorrow. So I'm going to say padding of 2 on the top, text should be XL, and it should be text should be green 500, okay? So you can see, look, it's starting to look very nice. Awesome stuff, right? And then what I want to do is I want to change it so we have, I'll put the nice little image loading thing tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. But I'm going to do the button now. So that's the final thing, okay? So already looking pretty good. And then we're going to literally connect thirdweb to this app and get the authentication portion done. So right now, I need to have a button associated over here, right? So what I do to get that button is I go down here to my mint button comment, okay? And remember guys, smash the thumbs up button if you're enjoying this content right now. Make it go as high as possible, because this is going to help this video get out to more students, more people. That's what we're about. We're about teaching the world how to code. Okay, so please smash that thumbs up, help people see this video. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit button like so, and inside this button I'm just going to have a quick thing of just saying mint NFT. Okay, mint NFT like so, and let's just put brackets and say imagine it's 0.01 ETH. But this is all going to be dynamic values, so it's going to be real actual values once we've done. Okay, now we're going to style this button, so I'm going to say class name, and we're going to go ahead and do height of 16, so height of 16 in this case. The button's going to be a bit taller. Width should be full. Right, now what I'm going to do is, before I do width to full, I'm going to give it a background of red and say 600. So that way you can actually see what I'm doing, right? So the width should be full. Oops, width should be full. And I'm going to go ahead and say the text should be white. I'm going to keep hitting save so you can see what I'm doing, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and say that the rounded corners should be full. And watch the corners of that button now. So check this out when I hit save. Bam. Starting to look clean as hell, right? So really, really nice looking button so far. Okay, so we already have this looking pretty decent. It is a bit close to that button above. So what we can do here is give it a padding or a margin top of 10, and you can see we can push it down, right? So if you want, you can mess around, make it float, that kind of cool stuff. I'm not going to do that today. We can pretty much leave it as it is. You guys can feel free. Remember, you can customize this. I want you to customize this. I'm going to say it out loud now. I want you to customize this and make it your own, because it's literally going to go ahead and be part of the challenge. I want to see what you guys come up with in this challenge, and you know, it's going to be pretty cool. So quick little water break, but this is where we're at so far. We've got the UI pretty much down on the front. Okay, so this is looking quite nice. I'm going to actually change one more little detail because I'm OCD like that. I'm going to go ahead and say for that button, where it says mint NFT, so this one, I'm actually going to go ahead and say font bold, right? Font bold. That looks a bit better. There we go. Nice. Right. So looking pretty good at this point. Next thing I want to do now is, and also guys, as a part of this challenge, if you want to, you can go ahead and customize. You can go ahead and customize your homepage over here as well, right? So the /. So in this case right now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and set up the sign in button. Okay, so for the sign in button, what we need to now do is go to thirdweb. Okay, so remember the docs.thirdweb.com/react. So this is where you're going to need to go to. So docs.thirdweb.com/react. You'll get to this page. Now, what you can do is you can use either npm or yarn. Feel free. The way to check what you're currently using is go to your file directory, go to your lock file. If it says package.lock, you're using npm. If it says yarn.lock, you're using yarn. There's no better, right, wrong answer here. It's fine. We're not getting into that. Okay. In this case, it says yarn. So I'm going to say yarn, and I need to install these dependencies. This is going to allow us to use thirdweb inside of our Next.js project. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and copy this, and basically this is going to install 3 dependencies. It's going to install thirdweb dev react, thirdweb dev SDK, and ethers. So you can see these 3 are going to be needed to go ahead and mess around with what we want to do. So I'm going to press Command J. I'm going to split my terminal. So now I've got my terminal on the left running my app, and I've got my terminal on the left on my right pretty free. Okay. So Carwin Razul says, I have landed my first job as a junior React developer. Jay, screenshot that, dude. Awesome stuff. I'm going to go ahead and install these dependencies so you can see where I actually started to install it here. That's amazing, dude. Razul, appreciate you sharing that, dude. So at this point, while that's installing, we can see what we need to do. Now, the way it works is whenever you use something like thirdweb, or if you use something like Redux or anything like that, what you need to do is essentially wrap your entire app with something called a provider. This is actually called a higher order component in the world of coding, right? But I'm not going to get into what that is. Essentially, to simplify this in layman's terms, it just means that it wraps the entire app, okay? And by wrapping the entire app, anything inside of the app can tap into what we want to do with thirdweb. So if we're wrapping it with this thirdweb provider, I can use all the cool thirdweb stuff inside the app now. So I'll show you what we mean by this. So here you can see, imagine this is the entire app being rendered, yeah? what we can do is wrap third web provider around it, and then I can use all of these really powerful React hooks. Now, if you don't know how to use React hooks, I've got so many free videos on my YouTube channel, and I've also got a free Skillshare React Basics 101 course. Link is in the description. Go check it out. Go learn for absolutely free. Okay, this is literally all here for you guys to learn how to code. So use it, make a benefit, and yeah, do your thing. Right, so at this point I'm going to go back to my code. You can see it's done it. It says done in 55 seconds. It took a bit of a while, but once we've got that done, what we're going to now do is go over to this quick start guide. Okay, so here you can see they've got an example. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to do this in Next.js. So in Next.js, our starting point is actually _app.tsx. So this is where we can see return component. Now don't get freaked out, okay? This is essentially where the app begins, right? This is where every page gets loaded. So what we're going to do here is put parentheses around this component. And what I'm going to now do is just space it out like so. Okay, and I'm not going to hit save yet. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this provider from that document. Okay, so you can see where it says third web provider decide chain ID. So first I'm going to import the dependency at the top. So this pulls in the code. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this line over here, pop it in, and I'm going to take this line over here, or you could just close it off yourself. Okay, don't be lazy. There you go. And now I can hit save. Now, what this has done is, remember I was talking about wrapping your entire app. So all of these pages that we're messing around with, I can delete the search TSX now, it's fine. Yeah, but all of these pages that we do our stuff in, that is basically when we're inside the app, right? But the overall app, to wrap it, we do it like this, right? So essentially now the entire app is surrounded by the third web provider. Now, an important thing that we need to change here is this. So you see where it says desired chain ID. Right now, this is pointing towards something called the Ethereum mainnet. Now, if you leave it on this, it's gonna go ahead and, Jay, check out the link for Skillshare. Fix that up, please. But yeah, you can check it out on Skillshare. Jay's gonna update the link on Skillshare, React Basics 101. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and change this to, we're gonna call it the Rinkby. Right, so Rinkby, and what this is, Rinkby is known as the test network for Ethereum. Okay, this means you can use essentially fake Ethereum to go ahead and test transactions, test all of that stuff, so that way you're not actually risking your real money. Okay, so in this case, now we're pointing towards the Rinkby. Now this is why it was part of your homework to go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you're gonna have to pay real money to top up your account with Ethereum. Why? When you're coding, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so at this point, we're gonna go ahead and go to our app and see if anything broke. Right, so you want to go to your local host, and yeah, if you're seeing this, it means you've done it right. Right, there's no error, there's nothing screaming at me saying, oh, you didn't do it right. This is good. Okay, so at this point now I can use something called React hooks from that project inside of my app. Okay, so I'll show you how we do this. So if I go over to my NFT drop page, what I can now do is I can go ahead, and by the way, an example of all of this is actually seen inside of that document. So if we go over to the second part, you can see they've got really good examples here of how you can connect with Metamask, how you can pull your address, and then how you can actually conditionally render it. So I do recommend, besides following along with me, you guys do this step as well. It's going to help you out, and then you can actually mess around with all of this as well if you want, but this is all we're going to need to do. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import these 3 dependencies that you guys will also have access to. So I'm going to pull those in like so. And then at the top of my code, I just need to basically use this, right? So I'm going to make life easier. I'm just going to put a little note, little comment here saying, this is my authentication stuff. It's basically going to sit in here. And I'm going to say, firstly, I want to go ahead and get something called the connect with Metamask, right? So anytime you see use Metamask, use disconnect, use address, use state, this is called a React hook. So what I need to do now is I need to basically get an instance of that hook, right? So I can say const, and here I'm going to say connect with Metamask. Okay, and this I say equals use Metamask. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm basically using their special React hook to go ahead and actually pull in an instance of it. Now what I can do is I can actually use this function, and it will allow me to do this cool stuff that they've pre-built. All right, so the next thing I want to do is say const address equals use address. Okay, so now we could pull the address if we need to. And the final one is const disconnect, right? and this one is going to be using the use disconnect hook. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and check this out. So we've got these three things over here, right? So I need to now make it so that when I click on the sign in button, it should pop up with a MetaMask login request. Okay, so the way I do that now is I go ahead and go down to my code, and I'm actually going into the header. Right, so the header was over here. So I had it over here, the header. And remember where we had the sign in button. So this one right here. What I want to do is when I click this button, I want it to go ahead and execute that function, right? So here I'm saying on click, right? So that's a special handler that is automatically assigned to a button. So I'm gonna say on click, I'm gonna put some JSX in here. And now what I need to do is basically tell it that when I click that button, you need to sign me in, right? So you need to go ahead and try and sign me in. So what I do here is I do something called an arrow function. All this is basically a little function that's running. Okay, so it's literally a little function. I can get rid of these little arrows. So there we go. And what I can do here is I can say connect with Metamask. Okay, connect with Metamask. Now what this is going to do is when I click the button, right? Yeah, let me know if you guys are coding along, right? Everyone's going like super focus mode, right? So when I click the button now, it should go ahead and connect me with MetaMask. So this is a moment of truth, okay? Moment of truth. Let's see if this works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and click this, right? Oh, nice. That's what I'm talking about, right? So we get the pop-up. This is awesome, right? So I'm going to click next, and this will actually go ahead and say, hey, I'm trying to connect to your account on the website. Connect. And it's connecting. Bam. I'm actually connected to my website from my MetaMask wallet, right? Now you're probably wondering, well, it doesn't say sign out. He's lying, right? So check this out, okay? Check this out. So what I can now do is I need to basically check if there is an address. So a way to do this is if you put a console log here and you say address, right? And you go over to your app right here and do basically open up the inspector. So inspect. And I go to my console. Now you'll see there is an address in the console. Okay, so that means I'm logged in, right? If you see an address, that means you're signed in. And this is persistent, by the way. So if I go ahead and refresh, you will see, I'm gonna make this bigger. You'll see that in the beginning it was undefined, and then it found that I was logged in, and then bam. So I'm logged in with my address, okay? So what I can now do, guys, is I can basically go ahead and use this address to determine if the person is logged in or not. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to conditionally render a couple of things. Okay, firstly, I want to go ahead and say if I am logged in. So if there is an address, then it should say sign out. All right, so this is called a ternary operator. Otherwise, it should say sign in. Okay, so this is called a ternary, and basically what you're doing here is just saying if there is an address. So if you're logged in, the button should say sign out. Otherwise, so else, it should say sign in. Okay, so check this out. Now it says sign out. Hey, look at that. If I refresh, it will check if I'm logged in. Bam. It knows I'm logged in. Sign out. Okay, cool, cool, cool. But what about this? This doesn't make sense. It's always going to try and connect me with MetaMask. So now what I can do is I can put another ternary over here, which says check the address. If there's an address, simply use the disconnect function over here. So I'm going to go ahead and say, then you should disconnect, else connect with MetaMask. All right, so now if you see this, look, if there's an address, so if I'm logged in, then disconnect me. Otherwise, connect with MetaMask. Okay, so this is looking pretty good, right? So we've literally got a ternary operator now. So if I try this, we should literally have it working. So if I click this, sign out, boom, I'm signed out. Nice. And if I click sign in, boom, I'm signed in, right? Now you're probably wondering, hang on a second. It didn't prompt you the second time, right? Well, the good thing about Web3 is that once you've authenticated once, it doesn't keep annoying you saying, hey, reconnect me, right? You can just sign in and sign out of that website, right? So in this point, what I can do is if I want to kind of get that prompt again, I can open up my MetaMask and I can go to the connected sign. Notice how I'm not signed in, but I'm still connected to the website. If I click this and I go over here and I click disconnect this account, now you can see if I sign in, it prompts me again. Okay, so there you go. I can sign in, and it was that's basically how it works. Okay, so you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that looks pretty good, right? Now the final thing I want to do is say you're logged in with the wallet. Okay, so we're almost there, guys. Almost there. We're going at such a good pace today, right? So on top of this image right here, what I'm going to go ahead and do is say I'm going to have, where is my button? My button is over here. So underneath the button, I'm going to have a horizontal line. So where's my horizontal line? Here we go. Right, I'm going to have the address. Now, basically what I'm doing here is I'm saying a conditional, right? So I'm saying if there is an address, only if there's an address should what I'm putting here basically show. So and says only if this is true. So only if there is an address, then I want to render out a p tag. Okay. And the p tag should say you're logged in with a wallet. Right, and then here I could put the entire address, right? So I could do this. Look, you're logged in with the wallet. And if I click sign out, you're not signed in. Sign out. There we go. Okay, so it works, right? But what we tend to see on crypto websites is it will basically kind of trim the beginning, ... trim the rest. And then that way you can kind of get the gist of it. If that's my account, yeah, that's my account, right? It makes sense. So in this case, and if you want to donate, feel free. That's my wallet. Okay, so at this point, what we can do is I can go ahead and do something called a substring and a substring, right? So I can do here, the first one, I'm going to basically say substring it. I'm going to say start from the beginning and basically go up to the first 5 characters. So there we go. Okay. Then after this, what I can do is I can go ahead and say ... and then I can say address .substring. And what I can do here is I can say starting from the end, right? And the way we do this is we say address.length. That's basically starting from the end minus 5, okay? And what this will do is it will basically start from the end and it will go 5 moves back, okay? So you can see this, look at that, right? So you're logged in with wallet like that, right? That looks a lot cleaner, right? That looks definitely a lot cleaner, right? So at this point, right, so that's basically how you tend to see crypto websites showing the wallet. Okay, so at this point what I want to do is make this look a little bit more pretty because it doesn't look good at all, right? I think that's what Azam said. He said code Azam says it looks kind of bad. Yeah, it did look bad before when it looked like that, right? So at this point I'm saying margin Y, no, sorry, not that. I'm gonna say this should be text should be centered, and I also want this to be text small. The text small. I'm gonna say the text should be a rows of 400, right? So now you can see, bam, right? Looks quite cool. Now remember, this will work perfectly on a phone, right? This has been designed for a mobile view, and over here on the desktop view, looks pretty damn clean, right? Now remember, this is the starting point for you guys, right? This is literally what you guys can start off with. This is the authentication portion now done, right? Looks awesome. It's fully responsive. And what I want you guys to do is go ahead and build that out and customize it, guys. Make it your own. Make this page look sick. I want to see your variants of your own NFT drop pages, not just copying mine. Do mine and then kind of, give it your own flavor. Okay. So at this point, what I want to do is I want to deploy this to Versal, right? So basically, as part of your homework, right? Ankit says, but now it looks pretty damn clean. It does look clean, right? So as part of your homework for today, you now need to go ahead and basically give me a deployment URL so I can see your website up and running, right? Now, when you do this, it's important that you basically, as part of today's example, do /NFT/PapaFam apes, right? So that way I can actually see what's going on. Or do /NFT, it could be anything. Remember, it's a wild card. So what I'm going to do is basically go ahead and try and see what is going on your deployments, right? So the whole point of this homework, I'm just going to pull up your homework for today, and I'll show you how to do the deployment in just a second. Right, so your homework today is going to look something like this, right? Its links are in the description. Make sure you've done all 5 steps. You're going to have to put in your full name, your email, and your deployed site link. So I'm going to show you right now how to go ahead and deploy, right? And that's going to give you the 5 bonus points. Remember, don't forget to like this video if you're watching right now, which is awesome. The retention has been incredible throughout this challenge. So thank you so much, guys. You guys are awesome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and deploy this thing now. So first thing you want to do, open up your github.com. Okay, log in. So hopefully I don't get any issues here. I'm going to log in. I'm going to create a repo. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say new repository, and I'm going to go ahead and say that this one should be, let's just say it's going to be NFT drop challenge. Oops, challenge, right? I'm going to show you how to push your code to a GitHub. I'm going to make this one a private repo so that way no one can copy, right? You can copy if you put the work in, right? And I'm going to go ahead and say create repository. Now, what you want to do here, guys, is we don't want to create a new repo. We've already done that. We want to push to an existing repo, right? So what we're going to do is take this line over here, get remote add origin. Okay. Well, in fact, there's actually another command that we might have to do here, but I'll show you that one in a sec. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead, Command J, and I'm going to basically go here and I'm going to paste that in, get remote add origin. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is you can do grit branch, main, and all that good stuff, but you don't actually have to. We're already on the main branch. So what I'm going to now do is you can see I've got 5 changes that I've made. So these are all the files that I basically made changes to. So the way we do this now is you guys can literally copy along with this, right? I'll show you how to push your changes. So we say git status, and as you can see, there are all these different files that I've added to my project, okay? So now I can say git add all, and if I do git status again, so that was git add dot, right? That means add all. Now you can see I basically staged these, right? So if you do it here, there'll be a plus icon here. So if I do it on this one, it'll say plus. So now I've basically staged. So I showed you both ways to do it, right? Then what you want to do is say git commit -m for the message. And in quotes, you basically put a commit message. So I'm going to say day 2 is finished, exclamation mark, enter. And now we've gone ahead and basically committed our changes to our repo. Now our repo is local, which means it's only on my computer. I want to push it to my GitHub repo. So what I now do is I type in git push and I hit enter, and this command comes up right here. I copy this command and I basically push it to my upstream branch. Now you can see it pushes to the branch that I just created, right? So if I go over here and I refresh now, check this out. Thomas, thank you. He goes, Papa Fam rocks. You can see literally day 2 is finished, has now been committed, right? So all my code is now on a GitHub repo. The next step is you want to head over to vercel.com. Okay, now you want to log in to Vercel. So in this case, I'm going to continue with my GitHub. So I'm going to quickly log into my GitHub account, right? So now I'm actually in. So check this out. And then I want to go ahead and click on a new project up here. Okay, Naristo says your tutorials are amazing, man. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, the positivity that you guys bring me is incredible. I really appreciate that, right? Thank you so much. Now we're going to go ahead and you should see you can connect a Git repo. So I've already done it. So in this case, I've got the NFT drop 48 seconds ago. That's the one. I'm going to click import. Right? I love this tune as well. Right? Oh, Baha is in the house. This is literally the main man behind Clouch. Just donated. He says greetings from the Clouch team for 160 new shop owners. That's incredible, guys. 160 new shops. He goes, please don't forget leaving the contact details and enjoy the customers and friends. That's it. What's up, man? He goes, hi, Jay and Sunny, great job. Guys, remember, when you create your Clouch shop, right, please do not forget to put your contact details in. Otherwise, people can't actually go to your service, right? The whole point of that shop is to get people coming to you. So those 200,000 active users on Clouch aren't going to be able to find you unless you put contact details in. Whether it's your Fiverr, whether it's your Upwork, whatever service you have, make sure you put it in. But good to see you here, Bar. Awesome stuff, man. Right? So you guys can see we can configure the project here, and the framework preset is automatically configured for us, okay? But what we can now do is I can ignore this stuff for now. I can go down to deploy. So once this is up, right, I'm going to go ahead and click deploy. This is going to go ahead and do the build process for us. It takes all the heavy lifting out of it, right? Is it compulsory we use Tailwind while customizing? I highly recommend you use it for this challenge. The whole point is that you're learning a new skill, right? Naristo says, never try React to Next.js. I'm mostly developing with Laravel. I 100% recommend you do, dude. Wallison says, I love this NFT project. Dude, I love you guys for tuning in. This is what we're about, right? So this is literally building out right now. So this won't take too long, right? Once this is done, it will literally go ahead and deploy it to a Vercel domain that we get for free. And you can use that domain to go ahead and paste it in your homework, okay? So absolutely crushing it right now. All right, let's check this out. All right, wait for it. It's just building. We can be a bit nosy. We can check this out, right? So you can see it's going ahead and actually building it out. So in the meantime, I'm going to go over. So once this is deployed, I want you to go to your day 2 homework submission, put in your name. So Sunny Sanga, Elon Musk, whoever you are, email address, and your deployed site link. Now, if you had any issues, hit the partially complete button. Otherwise, if you manage to smash this homework, customize it, do your thing the Papa Fam way, then hit the fully complete sign and show it off, right? And then if I find that yours absolutely smashed it, it's going to be on tomorrow's screens, right? So check this out. We just deployed, right? So look at this. I'm going to click on this site over here. Now, you're probably wondering, hang on a second, that looks like crap, right? What is that up there, right? Well, remember, we didn't customize the homepage. So I'm going to leave that up to you if you want to. To test if your deployment's correct, go to /NFT/ this could be anything at this point, but we're going to say Papa Fam apes, okay? And I'm going to do enter. Check this out. Let's see if we did it right. Hey, this is live right now, guys. So feel free to go ahead and visit this site. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the chat right now. Bam. Go ahead, use it, have a look, see what you're doing with it. But this is literally live right now. So you can see what I've literally coded in front of you, right? So this is live. I would literally go ahead, copy this, go to that homework submission link, paste it in, deploy it, done. That's your homework for today, right? So that's you pretty much setting up Sanity, thirdweb, getting your Next.js app up and running. And yeah, that's the start of something beautiful, guys. So before tomorrow's session, that's going to be your homework. I want all of you to get the bonus points, so make sure you do it. And if you want a head start, remember, signing up to thirdweb and Sanity CMS, use the links in the description. You should have already signed up to thirdweb if you're following along. If you haven't already done so, sign up to Sanity CMS so you're ready and prepared for tomorrow's session. Use the link in the description. And remember, guys, this is a challenge, which means I want you to customize it. I want you to make your portfolios and your apps look brilliant and amazing. Okay, join the Facebook Discord. If you get stuck, we will help each other out. That's what the Papa Fam is about. And to top it off, if you want those 10 juicy bonus points, head over to Clouch and set up a shop. Set up a shop on Clouch, and it's literally 10 free bonus points coming your way. That's it. And you get free cryptocurrency, guys. You literally are getting free cryptocurrency by signing up to our amazing friends over at Clouch. So with that said, we've absolutely crushed it today. I'm going to go ahead and do this the right Papa Fam way. Tomorrow, we're going to be building the integration with Sanity CMS. So we can have several different collections. So I'm going to give you a sneak preview into tomorrow's build, right? So we're going to basically go ahead and create our Sanity CMS backend. So that way we can go ahead and have several collections. We're going to introduce something called server-side rendering. So that way we can actually go ahead and pull these out, right? We're also going to go ahead and create and prepare our first ever NFT drop tomorrow. So there is so much to look forward to, guys. You guys are going to be able to learn about all of this stuff, how to get this working. You're even going to learn how to query a database using something called Grok. Okay, so in this case, you can see I can pull in my information. We're going to do all of this juicy stuff tomorrow. Make sure you're fueled up and make sure you're ready. Adil, what's up? I love the energy. Alexandru, this is awesome to see you guys here. Buzz says shout out to you too, Jay. Hamza says great pace. I'm glad this was a good pace for you all. And yeah, with that said, I'm gonna wrap this video up and get ready for tomorrow, guys. We're gonna literally, I'm just finding our jam on the Papa React, the way we do this, right? There we go. I found it. Where is it? There we go. That's it. I love this track. With that said, guys, I'm gonna see you in tomorrow's video. I want to see your apps. I want to see what you guys come up with. And yeah, it's been so fun, right? It's been literally so fun. It's day 2 already. This is what I'm saying. So when you're having fun, it literally flies by, right? So smash the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. Share this out afterwards. And yeah, I want to see the customized NFT drops. And then if you really want, get some NFT art ready, right? I'm actually going to give this to you tomorrow to make your life easier if you want to use our sort of, assets, but crushed it. Literally, Jay, we smashed this one. All right, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. With that said, this is your boy Papa React. Smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. See you tomorrow, guys. Peace.
How you make me feel, I got you.